everybody, Big Jake here. Today's video is going to be a little different because we are sort of doing a review slash not review of the Diode Dynamics 2015 SEMA, not a Raptor, F-150. Now, the reason that I get to have this truck and talk about it is because I work for Diode Dynamics. Now, if you follow me on social media, and it's okay if you don't, I'm really not that important, you might know that I work for them as their PR manager slash spokesperson slash annoying person who's always talking to you on social media about the best LED lighting upgrades in the world. Now, if you're not familiar with Diode Dynamics, I'll give you a quick shameless plug. Diode Dynamics is a performance LED lighting company out of St. Louis, Missouri, where we engineer and manufacture plug-and-play lighting upgrades for a huge variety of cars. On top of the plug-and-play stuff, we also make custom LED boards, RGBW demon eyes, and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff that someday I will plug in a future video. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to answer some questions about this truck. Now, this truck, again, was built for SEMA a few years ago. Now we use it as not only the company work truck, but we also take it to shows and meets like I did this weekend, which is why I have it sitting here in my driveway. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video is not just to show off this really cool work vehicle that I get to drive occasionally, but it's because we were at a show this weekend, Import Alliance. Shout out to Don and all the guys at Import Alliance. And I got a few questions about this truck. You see, this is not a Raptor. This is actually a 5-liter 2015, I believe, base model truck. It has cloth seats, no sunroof, no special features, but you look at it and from the front, it looks like something different. From the side, it looks like something different. It looks like something different from every angle. And I got so many questions about this truck this weekend, even though it was just parked in spectator parking, that I figured I would make a quick video and run you through what makes this truck special. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the Diode Dynamics 2015 SEMA F-150. Woo! Oh my God. Riding with one glove. Can I get a See that? IROC Z, baby. We got the good one. So starting with the front of the truck is one of my favorite things about it. Now, that's not a factory truck. Now, it's not a Raptor, but it's definitely not a typical F-150. And now what you're seeing here is you're gonna notice that these front fenders are a little bit wider, and that's because the entire front end of this truck has actually been changed. Now, starting with the hood, that is a Fiberwerx hood. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Fiberwerx, but I do know that they supplied the front fenders, which is what gives it that wider kind of Raptor-esque look, and they supplied this hood. Now you can see that the hood lines are they're a little more muscular than your typical F-150, and they match that wider fender really, really well. So those two things is really what gives the front end its look. Now, I believe that is a stock bumper. Now we'll go over what's in the bumper here in a second, but it's a Fiberwerx hood, Fiberwerx front fenders, and then I believe a Fiberwerx grill. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's true. Now you'll also notice on the front grill here, we do have the custom Diode Dynamics, the double D, the logo right there. That's a little detail that I like to point out because most people miss it. This truck is Pro Charge and it has a MagnaFlow exhaust, which are two things that I'll show you. But when this truck is running, coming down the street, it's lifted, it's on 35s, it's got the Pro Charger. There's a lot of little subtle details about this truck that people tend to miss, but I really like to go over them because a lot of work went into making this truck. There was a lot of really cool partnerships that were created to build this truck, and it's worth going over the details. So moving on from the front end. Now, this is a true method bead lock. I forget the name of these wheels, but they are method bead locks. They hold up great, as you can see. We are not kind to them. These wheels have been put through the ringer. This is a true truck. This is not a show truck. It used to be, and it has seen some abuse since then. They're sitting on 315/70/17 Mickey Thompson Baja claws, which have held up great. A lot of miles of not too kind of treatment. This truck has been put through its paces. Now the suspension. The suspension is really one of the coolest pieces on this truck. This is a Baja kit with King remote reservoir shocks. I believe they would call this a mid-travel suspension. Despite it being dirty and a few years old, it has held up great. You can see the King remote reservoir right there. And in the rear, again, remote reservoir King shocks. You can see right here, I believe this is either added leaf springs or new leaf springs. I'm not sure. So we've got our Fiberwerx body pieces, we've got our Baja kit suspension, we've got our Method beadlock wheels, we've got our Mickey Thompson Baja claws. That's what kind of gives the truck its initial stance and presence. Now, a lot of you are wondering, if you haven't already figured it out, what's with the color? That is not a factory color. Dirty, that's our fault. Matte black wrap, it's a sticker, it's a vinyl, essentially a vinyl sticker is a really simple way to put it. Now, this was done by the good folks at Vinyl Images in St. Louis. Shameless plug. I'm going to shamelessly plug everybody who is involved in this truck. It is an absolutely killer build. Now, everybody that had a hand in getting this truck built is linked in the description below. So if you like anything about this truck, by all means, go through the description, check out the companies, everybody from Retro Shop to MagnaFlow to Method to ProCharger, and so many more. There was a ton of companies, so I want to do them justice, but this is not a long video, so we won't go over every single thing. Again, this truck is owned, as you might have guessed by the logos, by Diode Dynamics. So the headlights are packed with lighting upgrades. There's some cubes, which are not actually on the street. The cubes down in the bumper, I'll show you. These are not actually publicly available yet. These are coming soon. So depending on when this video is released, you may or may not actually be able to buy these. What's in this truck today, those are prototype pods, work lights, whatever you want to call them. Really cool piece here. This is an 18-inch Stage Series light bar that's actually mounted to the ProCharger intercooler. How cool is that? So Stage Series lighting, if you don't know, another shameless plug, Stage Series lighting was built by a rally racer, engineered by a rally racer at Diode Dynamics, and is built for the intended purpose of racing. This is not your typical Amazon, eBay light bar. Stage Series lighting is the real deal, and I say that as somebody who has it on his personal vehicles. It is a step above. If you need light bars, don't buy the junk, buy Stage Series. Now the headlights, again, the headlights were built by Retro Shop. There are Diode Dynamics replacement LED boards in the headlights themselves, as well as Pro Series DMIs. If you don't know what those are, we've covered them extensively on the Diode Dynamics channel, so I will link those videos in the description below. If you're curious about what's in the headlights on this truck, check out those videos. They'll do a way better job of explaining exactly what went into the technology in these headlights. Better than I can in this short little video. And now to wrap up this short little tour of the Diode Dynamics F-150, the SEMA build, the pièce à résistance, or however you say it, the P1 ProCharger, the P1 Supercharger. Now this whole setup was tuned by Craven Performance. Their info is linked in the description below, so shout out to Craven Performance out of St. Louis. This ProCharger on this 5-liter essentially Coyote motor, it's the 5-liter block from 2015, is making 7.5 pounds. Now, again, I wasn't with the company when this truck was built, so I only know what I was told. I believe this truck is making north of 500 rear wheel horsepower, which makes sense given what your typical Coyote Mustang makes on a supercharger system, on a ProCharger system, on a turbo system. These motors are known for being incredibly stout. I can't say much for the transmissions. I don't know much. This truck has been abused for about 20,000 miles and has never skipped a beat. This truck has literally never broken, to my knowledge. The ProCharger works flawlessly. It sounds amazing. So that's a lot of the technical info. Again, I wasn't around when this truck was built, but we've been getting a lot of questions about this truck because it's been out and about. So I thought it'd be cool to make a quick overview video. Hopefully I can make it reasonably entertaining. But I think what we're all waiting to hear is the ProCharger. So let's crank the truck up. So essentially that's it. It's a really cool truck. It's an actually pretty simple build, just a lot of really good parts went into it. Again, shout out to all the companies that were involved in building it. Their descriptions or their links are in the description below. For anyone that's ever seen this truck out and about or at a show anywhere across the country, I hope you found this somewhat entertaining. Again, we've just been answering a lot of questions about it because it's a highly visual truck. It makes an impact. And I had the opportunity to make a video with it, so why not? If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe. If not, don't tell me about it because, you know, I'm still working on this. This is a great truck. Shout out to Diode Dynamics for letting me borrow it, and see you next time.